Democratic gain, Alexandra Acker. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
All right, Todd,
Hi.
I want to start with you and the Tea Party in 2012. How much influence will they have the next time around?
I think they'll have significant influence. The only question is whether that influence is used to channel and push for the kind of economic conservative ideas that really fueled the movement during this past election cycle, or whether the movement will coalesce behind candidates that frankly have very little chance of actually winning in a general election. My hope is that the Tea Party will continue to push the Republican Party to focus more on these fiscal economic issues and hopefully not nominate people, frankly, like Christine O'Donnell, that just have no chance of actually winning.
Well, Alexandra, I want to ask you, is this an opening for Democrats, this Tea Party and establishment rift that appears to be taking place inside the GOP?
Absolutely, and it's one that I can't wait to watch unfold over the next 2 years. I think we're going to not only see partisan gridlock in Washington amongst Democrats and Republicans, but really see gridlock within the Republican Party. They're really in danger of alienating half their base no matter what they do. If they go along with the Tea Party and cut spending and focus on the deficit, they're going to anger a lot of moderate Republicans out there who are so crucial to 2012 victories.
Well, you know, they had great success in races all across the country. They're going to flood into the House when they take their new oath in January. There's going to be a Tea Party caucus. They will be very organized, at least on the House side. So moving forward, Todd, how do they get better at vetting candidates? You mentioned Christine O'Donnell. There was a lot of conflict over whether she was the right person, the right candidate. How do they do a better job of making sure they increase their numbers moving forward? Well,
I think it's a learning process. The movement is very young. But look, the establishment gets it wrong a lot of times. I mean, how many quote-unquote establishment candidates were there that were backed by the party infrastructure that ended up losing? You know, Charlie Crist is a perfect example. So, you know, I don't think that you can just point a finger at the Tea Party and say, oh, well, they got all this wrong. These are very hard calculations to make sometimes. My hope is that the role of the Tea Party will be to continue to push the Republican Party to focus more on these fiscal, economic issues, cutting spending, reducing the debt, because that is a winner in this electoral environment.
All right, Alexandra, I want to talk to you about the fact that the president has come out. He's used the word shellacked. We've heard that time and again over the last few days. But he is now going to have a meeting at the White House where he's going to invite in leaders from both sides of the aisle. But, you know, he's going to have John Boehner there, Eric Cantor, other top Republican leaders, Mitch McConnell and others. He's talked about wanting to get substantive things done. He doesn't want this to be a photo op. How much do you expect they will be able to accomplish as they now sit down together?
I think very little. I mean, over the last 2 years, the president has time and time again tried to reach across the aisle and bring Republicans on board in bipartisan legislation. And Republicans have said from the very beginning, since his transition, even before he was president, that their goal was to stop him from having any electoral, political, legislative victories. And I think that that's what we're going to continue to see, unfortunately, over the next 2 years. I think Republicans are going to fight amongst themselves, not really be able to pass anything through the House that the Senate would consider. And that will really see gridlock, which is truly unfortunate for the American people during these really difficult times. But there might be a couple of places where we can see some compromise on things like tax reform, on perhaps bringing an energy proposal back to the table, perhaps on some additional stimulus spending. But with the Tea Party caucus being shouting no, 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 no all across the board, I don't see Republican leadership being willing to come to the table.
Todd, are they going to be obstructionist? Would that help them going into 2012?
Well, first of all, that's an absurd assessment of what happened. We all know that the congressional Democrats shut out the Republicans when it came to creating the stimulus. We were shut out when it came to writing the health care bill. There were Republican alternatives.
Spent a year trying to get Republicans on the health care bill, Todd.
Excuse me. I'm talking, please. We were shut out of that entire process. The idea that somehow there would be bipartisan cooperation on an additional stimulus package, I think is completely absurd. The first stimulus package didn't work, so there's no way there's going to be Republican compromise on a second one.
Very quickly, Alexandra, last word to you.
I don't know what dream world Todd is living in, but I certainly think that the next 2 years will be very interesting, and that Tuesday pretty much guaranteed re-election for Barack Obama.
All right, Todd, Alexandra, thank you very much. We'll leave it as you